Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the episode 16 of Mahabharata Reading Challenge. And like always, we are going to start with the prayers. Firstly, for Hanuman ji. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj, Nij Man Mukru Sudhari, बरनौ रघुवर बिमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस पिकार. Knowing that this mind of mine has less intelligence, I remember the son of wind, who granting me strength, wisdom and all kinds of knowledge removes all my sufferings and shortcomings. निश्चय प्रेम प्रतीत ते बिने करे सम्मान, तेहि के कारज सकल शुभ सिद्ध करे हनुमान. जय हनुमान संत हितकारी, सुन लीजिए प्रभु अर्ज हमारी. जन के काज विलम्ब न कीजे, आतुर दूर महासुख दीजिए. आंखें देखे मून मुख सहा कहा नहीं जाए, लेख विधाता का लिखा कौन किसे समझाए. कौन किसे समझाए. वचन दिया सोचा नहीं, होगा क्या परिणाम. सोच समझकर कीजिए जीवन में हर काम. जीवन को समझा रहा जिया हुआ इतिहास, जब तक तन में श्वास है तब तक मन में आस. तब तक मन में आस. आस कह रही श्वास से धीरज धरना सीख, मांगे बिन मोती मिले, मांगे मिले न भीख. मांगे मिले न भीख. है कथा संग्राम की, विश्व के कल्याण की, धर्म अधर्म आदि अनंत, सत्य असत्य कलेश कलंक, स्वार्थ की कथा परमार्थ की. शक्ति है भक्ति है, जन्मों की मुक्ति है, जीवन का ये संपूर्ण सार है. युग युग से कण कण में, सृष्टि के दर्पण में, वेदों की कथा अपार है. धर्मों की गाथा है, देवों की भाषा है, सदियों के इतिहास का प्रमाण है. कृष्णा की महिमा है, गीता की गरिमा है, ग्रंथों का ग्रंथ ये महान है. महाभारत महाभारत महाभारत. सुख करता दुख हरता वार्ता विघ्नाची, हो वार्ता विघ्नाची. नुरवी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपाया जायाची, सर्वांगी सुंदर उतिशेंदुराची, हो उतिशेंदुराची. कांठी जाल के माल मुक्ता फलहांची. जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति. दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति, हो श्री मंगल मूर्ति. दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति, जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति. Think him as Vishnu while taking medicines, as Janardhan while eating food, as Padmanabha while in bed, as Prajapati at the time of marriage, as Chakradhara while engaged in war, as Trivikrama while on travel, as Narayana on deathbed, as Sridhara while meeting with the beloved, as Govinda while tossing with bad dreams, as Madhusudan while in trouble, as Narsimha while in forest, as Jalasayana while fire is ravaging, as Vara while struggling in water, as Raghunandan while lost in a mountain, as Vamana while on the move, as Madhava while doing everything. यह तो प्रेम की बात है ऊदो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है. यहाँ सर दे के होते सौदे, आशिकी इतनी सस्ती नहीं है. प्रेम वालों ने कब वक्त पूछा, उनकी पूजा में सुन ले ए ऊदो. यहाँ दम दम में होती है पूजा, सर झुकाने की फुर्सत नहीं है. जो असल में है मस्ती में डूबे, उन्हें क्या परवाह जिंदगी की. जो उतरती है चढ़ती है मस्ती, वो हकीकत में मस्ती नहीं है. जिनकी नज़रों में शाम प्यारे, वो तो रहते हैं जग से न्यारे. जिनकी नज़रों में मोहन समाए, वो नज़रें फिर तरसती नहीं है. कर्पूर गौरम करुणा अवतारम, संसार सारम भुजगेंद्रहारम, सदा वसंतम हृदय रविंदे, भवम भवानी सहितम नमामि. I bow to Bhavani as well as to Lord Shiva, who is white as camphor, who is compassion incarnate, who is the essence of the world, who wears a garland of a large snake, and who always dwells in the lotus-like hearts of his devotees. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो कर तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ. जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ, अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो कर तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ. तुम मेरे हो मैं तेरा हूँ, बस और नहीं कुछ याद मुझे. ये ध्यान सदा मेरे मन में रहे, ये विनय सुनाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ। फूलों में तुम्हारी खुशबू है, पत्तों में तुम्हारी हस्ती है, पर फूल नहीं है पास मेरे, बस दो नयन चढ़ाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ। अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो कर तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। तुम मेरे प्यारे सावरिया, मेरा तुमसे हमेशा नाता है, नहीं और मेरा कोई सुनता है मैं तुम्हें सुनाने आया हूँ। तुम मेरे प्यारे सावरिया, मेरा तुमसे हमेशा नाता है, नहीं और मेरी कोई सुनता है मैं तुम्हें सुनाने आया हूँ। जब याद तुम्हारी आती है मैं तेरे दर पर आता हूँ। अपने सुख दुख को हे ठाकुर मैं रो रो कर तुम्हें सुनाता हूँ। मंगल मूर्ति मारुति नंदन, सकल अमंगल मूल निकंदन, पवन तनय संतन हितकारी, हृदय विराजित अवध बिहारी। जय 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 बजरंग बली, महावीर हनुमान गोसाई। नटखट बंसी वाले गोकुल के राजा, मेरी अखियाँ तरस गई अब तो आजा आजा। नटखट बंसी वाले गोकुल के राजा, मेरी अखियाँ तरस गई अब तो आजा आजा। गोपी जन रास रास अभिलाषी, कौरव कालिंग कंस निवासी विनाशी। हिमकार बाणुक सा प्रकाशी, सर्व बहुत ही वस वैयाकी। बोलो जय कन्हैया की। नटखट बंसी वाले गोकुल के राजा, मेरी अखियाँ तरस गई अब तो आजा। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, बेशबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, बेशबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं। नाम जपते चलो काम करते चलो, हर समय कृष्ण का ध्यान करते चलो। नाम जपते चलो काम करते चलो, हर समय कृष्ण का ध्यान करते चलो। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, राम नारायणम जानकी वल्लभम। जय 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 गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी। जय 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 गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी। जय गजपदन षडानन माता, जय गजपदन खड़ानन माता, जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुरनर मुनसब होई सुखारे। मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उर पर सुभई के। कीन्हु प्रगट न करन तेहि, आस कही चरण गहे बेदई। जय 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 गजपदन खड़ानन माता, जय जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। बिने प्रेम बस भई भवानी, खासी माल मूरत मुस्कानी। सादर सिए प्रसाद सर धरेऊ, बोली गौरी हर्ष हियो भरहु। सुनो सिए सत्य असीस हमारी, पूछहि मन कामना तुम्हारी। नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, सो बरु मिलहि जहि मनुराचा। जय गजपदन षडानन माता, जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। नहीं तब आदि मध्य अवसाना, अमित प्रभाव वेद नहीं जाना। भव भव विभव पराभव कारिणी, विश्व विमोहिनी स्वबस बिहारिणी। पति देवता स्तुति महु, मात प्रथम तव रेख। महिमा अमित न सकहि कही, सहस शारदा शेष। सेवत तोहि सुलभ फलचारी, बरदायनी पुरारी प्यारी। और मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उर पुर सबहि के। किन्हु प्रकट न कारण तेहि, आस कही चरण गहे बेदहि। जय 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 गिरिवर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी जय गजबदन खड़ानन माता जगत जाननी दामिनी दुति गाता। जननी मैं रामदूत हनुमान, जननी मैं रामदूत हनुमान, चरण कमल में शत शत वंदन कर दो माँ कल्याण। मिला है अवसर आज महान, जननी मैं रामदूत हनुमान। चमके कोटि सूर्य सम रघुवर, शीत चंद्र सी वाणी मधुकर। करके रावण हरण तुम्हारा, किया मृत्यु आह्वान। सत्य वचन कहता माँ सीता, हर पल प्रभु को तुम्हारी चिंता। आशु नयन से झरत निरंतन, व्याकुल है श्री राम। जननी मैं रामदूत हनुमान, जननी मैं रामदूत हनुमान। Yes, my dear friends, so we are reading Mahabharata by C. Raja Gopalachari, and today we are on day 16. We are going to start with borrowed armor until Karna and Bhima. So let's start. Let's get started from 83. Borrowed armor. When Dhritarashtra heard Sanjaya relate the success of Arjuna, he exclaimed, "O Sanjaya, when Janardhan came to Hastinapur seeking a settlement, I told Duryodhan that it was a great opportunity and he must not lose it. I told him to make peace with his cousins. Keshava has come to do us a good turn. Do not disregard his advice," I said. But Duryodhan heeded not. What Karna and Dushasan said seemed to him better advice than mine. The destroyer entered his mind and he sought his own ruin. Drona deprecated war. So also did Bhishma, Bhurisarva, Kripa, and other. But my obstinate son would not listen. Impelled by inordinate ambition. So, these are very important lines, important sentences for today's world also. He got entangled in anger, hatred, and invited the ruinous war. So, when now Dhritarashtra is telling Sanjay, I tried to convince Duryodhan when Keshava came for the peace settlement. So he is telling that I told Duryodhan that it was a great opportunity and he must not lose it. I told him to make peace with his cousins. Keshava has come to do us a good turn. Do not regard his advice, I said. But Duryodhan heeded not. The destroyer entered his mind and he sought his own ruin. Drona deprecated war. So also did Bhishma, Bhuri Sarvas, Kripa, and other. But my obstinate son would not listen. Impelled by ordinate ambition, he got entangled in anger, hatred, and invited this ruinous war. The Dhritarashtra, thus lamenting, Sanjaya said, "Of what avail are your regrets now? The life-giving water has all run to waste, and you now seek to stop the breach. Why did you not prevent the son of Kunti from gambling? Had you done the right thing then, all this great grief even have been stopped at source. Even later, if you had been firm and stopped your son from his evil way, ways this calamity could have been avoided. You saw the evil, and yet, against your own sound judgment, you followed the foolish advice of Karuna and Shakuni. Keshav, Yudhishthir, and Drona do not respect you now as they did before. Vasudeva now knows that your rectitude is only hypocrisy. Oh my god. Oh god. So, okay, Sanjaya said that of what avail are your regrets now? The life giving water has all run to waste, and you now seek to stop the breach. Why did you prevent the son of Kunti from gambling? Had you done the right thing then, all this great grief would have been stopped at the source. Even later, if you had been firm and stopped your son from his evil ways, this calamity could have been avoided. You saw the evil, and yet, against your own sound judgment, you followed the foolish advice of Karna and Shakuni. Yudhishthir and Drona do not respect you. So, he's telling that Keshav, Yudhishthir, and Drona do not respect you now as they did before. Vasudeva now knows that your rectitude is only hypocrisy. The Kauravas are doing their utmost as warriors, but they are unequal to opposing the strength of Arjun, Krishna, Satyaki, and Bhima. Duryodhan has not spared himself. He is putting forth his utmost strength. It is not meet that you should now accuse him or his devoted soldiers. Dear Sanjaya, I admit my dereliction of duty. What you say is right. No one can change the course of fate. Tell me what happened. Tell me all, be it ever so unpleasant, said the old king, convulsed with grief. And obedient to the old king's behest, Sanjaya continued his narration. So he's telling basically, okay, I admit my disregard or my dereliction for of duty. What you say is right. No one can change the course of fate. Tell me what happened. Tell me all. It ever so unpleasant, said the old king, convulsed with grief. And obedient to old king's behest, Sanjaya continued his narration. Duryodhan was greatly agitated when he saw Arjun's chariot proceeding triumphantly towards the Sindhu king. He rushed to Drona and complained bitterly. Duryodhan was greatly agitated when he saw Arjun's chariot proceeding triumphantly towards the Sindhu king. He rushed to Drona and complained bitterly. So Duryodhan is completely in complaining mode. Arjuna has effected a breach in the great army and has advanced to Jayadratha position. Seeing our discomfiture, the warrior protecting the Sindhu kill will surely lose heart. They had believed that it was impossible for Arjun to get past you, and that has now been falsified. He advanced before your eyes, and nothing was done to prevent it. You seem indeed bent on helping the Pandavas. I am in great distress of mind. Sir, tell me, in what matter have I offended you? Offended you? Why are you letting me down in this way? If I should know that you would do this, I should not have asked Jayadratha to stay here. It was a great mistake I committed in not letting him go, as he desired, back to his own country. If Arjun attacks him, it is not possible for him to escape death. Forgive me, I am talking foolishly, distracted by grief. Do go in person yourself to say Sandava. So basically here to this frenetic appeal, Drona made answer, King, I shall not take offense at your thoughtless and unworthy remarks. You are like son to me. Ashwathama himself is not dearer. Do what I ask you. King, I shall not take offense at your thoughtless and unworthy remarks. You are like a son to me. Ashwathama himself is not dearer. Do what I ask you. Take this coat of armor and donning it, go and stop Arjuna. I cannot do so, for my presence is necessary in this part of field. See there the cloud of arrows. The Pandava army is attacking us in great force. Yudhishthir is here unsupported by Arjun, and is this not just the opportunity we wanted? Our very plan has borne fruit, and I must now take Yudhishthir prisoner and deliver him to you. The Pandava army is attacking us in great force. Yudhishthir is here unsupported by Arjun, and is this not just the opportunity we wanted? Our very plan has borne fruit, and I must now take Yudhishthir prisoner and deliver him to you. I cannot give up this objective and run after Falguna now. If I go after Arjuna now, our battle array will be hopelessly broken and we shall be lost. I cannot give up this objective and run after Falguna now. I go after Arjuna now, our battle array will be hopelessly broken and we shall be lost. Let me put this armor on you. Go in confidence, do not fear. So basically, Drona is putting his armor on Duryodhan and he's telling him to go in confidence, do not fear. You have valor, skill, and experience. This coat will protect you against all weapons. It will not let any blow pass through your body. Go forth to the battle. Duryodhan in confidence as Indra did, clad in armor given by Brahma. May victory be yours. Duryodhan's confidence was restored, and as the Acharya directed, he went dressed in magic armor and accompanied by a large force of soldiers to attack Arjuna. Duryodhan's confidence was restored, and as the Acharya directed, he went dressed in magic armor and accompanied by a large force of soldiers to attack Arjuna. Arjuna had crossed the Kaurava army and gone far ahead towards where Jayadratha had been kept for safety. Arjuna had crossed the Kaurava army and gone far ahead towards where Jayadratha had been kept for safety. Seeing that the horses were somewhat fatigued, Krishna stopped the chariot and was about to unyoke the tired animals when the brother Vinda and Anuvinda came up suddenly and began to attack Arjuna. They were defeated, and Arjuna scattered their forces and slew them both. After this, Krishna unyoked the chariot and let the horses roll in the mud. The horses rested for a while and were refreshed. Then they proceeded again according to the plan. Dhananjay looked behind. There comes the foolhardy Duryodhan. Dhananjay, look behind. So Krishna is telling to Arjun that look behind. There comes the foolhardy Duryodhan. What good luck! Long have you suppressed your anger, and now is the time for you to let yourself go. Here is the man who caused all this grief, delivering himself to your hands. But remember, he is a great archer, well versed in bow lore, and also a keen and strong limbed fighter. Thus said Krishna, and they halted to give battle to Kaurava. Duryodhan approached without fear. They say, Arjun, that you have done acts of prowess. I have not seen this myself. Let me see if your courage and your skills are indeed as great as your reputation. Let me see if your courage and your skills are indeed as great as your reputation. My God, Krishna says lot of deep sentences. So he's telling, okay, fine, your reputation is good, but I want to see if your courage and your skills are indeed as great as your reputation. Said, they say, Arjuna, that you have done acts of prowess. I have not seen this myself. Okay, wait. I think this is Duryodhan's said Duryodhan to Arjun as he began to battle. Okay, sorry. That's actually not Krishna, that's Duryodhan. They say, Arjuna, that you have done acts of prowess. I have not seen this myself. Okay, yeah, of course, Krishna has seen Arjun. Let me see if your courage and your skills are indeed as great as your reputation, said Duryodhan to Arjun as he began to battle. The combat was fierce indeed, and Krishna was surprised. Parth, I am astonished, said Krishna. How is it your arrows do not seem to hurt Duryodhan? This is the first time I see the shaft proceeding from Gandiva bow strike their targets without effect. This is strange. Have your arms lost their power, or has the Gandiva bow lost its quality? Why do your arrows strike Duryodhan and drop to the ground without piercing him? This is most puzzling. So Krishna said, Krishna said, Parth, I am astonished, said Krishna. How is it your arrows do not seem to hurt Duryodhan? This is the first time I see the shafts proceeding from the Gandiva bow strike their targets without effect. This is strange. Have your arms lost their power, or has the Gandiva bow lost its quality? Why do your arrows strike Duryodhan and drop the ground without piercing him? This is most puzzling. Arjuna smiled and replied, I understand this man has come dressed by Drona in charmed armor. The Acharya has taught me the secret of this armor, but this man wears it as a bullock might do. You will see some fun now. So Arjuna smiled and replied that I understand this man has dressed by Drona in charmed armor, and also the Acharya has taught me the secret of this armor, but this man wears it as a bullock might do. You will see some fun now. Saying thus, Arjun proceeded to shoot his arrows, first depriving Duryodhan of his horses, his charioteer, and his car. Then Arjun broke his bow and disarmed him completely. Thereafter he sent needle-eye darts which pierced just those parts of Duryodhan's body that were not covered by armor until he could bear it no longer and turned and fled. When Duryodhan was thus discomfited, Krishna blew his conch, and it sent a thrill of fear in Jadarath armies. Jayadratha's army. The warriors around the Sindhu king were surprised. They at once got ready in chariots and Bhuri Sarvas, Chala, Karna, Vrishasena, Kripa, Salya, Ashwathama, and Jayadratha, 8 of them arrayed their forces against Arjuna. Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira's misgiving. When the Pandavas saw Duryodhan proceeding in the direction of Arjun, they attacked the Kaurava army forces so as to hold Drona and prevent him from going to Jayadrath's rescue. When the Pandavas saw Duryodhan proceeding in the direction of Arjun, they attacked the Kaurava army in force so as to hold Drona and prevent him from going to Jayadrath's rescue. So Drishtadyumna led his forces rapidly against Drona. As a result of all this, the Kaurava army had to fight on 3 fronts and was greatly weakened. Driving his chariot right against Drona, Drishtadyumna attacked him violently. Drona's chestnut horses and the Panchala's dove-colored ones were entangled with one another and presented a picturesque sight like the clouds at sunset. Drishtadyumna threw away his bow and sword, and shield in hand, he sprang upon Drona's chariot, now standing on the shafts of the vehicle, now on horses, now on the yoke. He attacked Drona bewilderingly, all the while seeming to scorch him with baleful and bloodshot arrows. Long did this fight go on. Drona pulled his bow in great wrath and sent a shaft which would have drunk the Panchala's life but for the unexpected intervention of Satyaki, who sent an arrow and diverted the Acharya's shaft. Drona then turned and attacked Satyaki, which enabled the Panchala warrior to take Drishtadyumna away. Drona, hissing like a black cobra, his eyes red with anger, advanced on Satyaki, who was among the front rank warriors on the Pandava side and who, when he saw Drona desiring battle, went forward to accept the challenge. Here is the man who, giving up his vocation as a Brahmana, has taken up the profession of fighting and is causing distress to Pandava, Satyaki said to his charioteer. This man is the principal cause of Duryodhan's arrogance. Here is the man who, giving up his vocation as a Brahman, has taken up the profession of fighting and is causing distress to Pandava, Satyaki said to his charioteer. This man is the principal cause of Duryodhan's arrogance. This man fancies himself a very great soldier and is ever bursting with conceit. I must teach him a lesson. Take the chariot up quickly. Satyaki charioteer accordingly lashed the silver-white horses and took the car at great pace. Satyaki and Drona shot shafts at one another so quick that they covered the sun, and the battlefield was in darkness for a while. The steel shafts swished, glimmering like newly slaughtered snakes rushing about. The chariot holes and flagstaffs on both sides were battered down. Drona as well as Satyaki were bleeding profusely. The warrior on other side stood still, watching the duel, and they did not blow their conchs or raise their war cries or sound their lion roars. The Devas, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, and Yakshas watched the great battle from above. Drona's bow was broken by a well-aimed shaft from Satyaki, and the son of Bharadwaja had to take another bow, and even as he strung it, Satyaki shot it down again. Drona took up another bow, that too was shot down, and so it went on till Drona lost 101 bow without being able to shoot an arrow. The great Acharya said to himself, this man Satyaki is a warrior in the class of Sri Rama, Kartavirya, Dhananjay and Bhishma, and was glad he had an opponent worthy of him. It was craftsman's professional joy at skill displayed in the art he loved. For every specially charged shaft that Drona sent, Satyaki had a ready answer of equivalent quality. Long did this equal combat continue. Drona, of unrivaled skill in archery, then resolved on killing Satyaki and sent the fire astra. But Satyaki saw this and, losing no time, sent the Varuna astra to counteract it. So basically, they both, Drona was amazed to see the opponent worthy of him, Satyaki. But now Satyaki's strength began to fail, and seeing this, the Kaurava warriors were glad and shouted in satisfaction. When Yudhishthir saw Satyaki was hard pressed, he told those nearby to go to Satyaki's relief. Our great and good hero Yuyudhana, Satyaki is being overpowered by Drona. You should go there at once, he said to Drishtadyumna. The Brahmana will otherwise slay Satyaki in few minutes. Why are you hesitating? Go at once. Drona is playing with Satyaki as cat plays with a bird. Satyaki is indeed in the paw of destroyer. Yudhishthir ordered the army to make a powerful attack on Drona. Satyaki was saved with difficulty. Just then the sound of Krishna's conch was heard from the sector where Arjun was fighting. Oh Satyaki, I hear Panchajanya, cried Yudhishthir, but the twang of Arjun's bow does not accompany it. I fear Arjun has been surrounded by Jayadratha's friends and is in danger. Arjun is opposed by forces both in front of him and in his rear. He pierced the Kaurava ranks in morning and he has not come back yet. Though the great part of the day is gone, how is it that only Krishna's conch is hurt? I feel Dhananjay has been slain and therefore Krishna has taken up arms. See, here also. Satyaki, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. Your bosom friend Arjun, he who taught you, is in mortal danger. Often your great skill and prowess. Often has Arjun spoken to me admiringly of your great skill and prowess. There is not another soldier like Satyaki, he said to me when we were in the forest. Oh, look there, the dust is rising that side. I am certain Arjun has been surrounded. Jayadratha is a powerful warrior, and there are many enemy warriors there helping him and resolved to die in defense of him. Go at once, Satyaki. Thus did Dhanputra speak in great trepidation. Satyaki, who was weary after his battle with Drona, replied, Faultless among men, I shall obey your command. What would I not do for Dhananjay's sake? My life is merest trifle in my eyes. If you order me, I am ready to fight the gods themselves. What would I not do for Dhananjay's sake? So here Satyaki is telling to Dharamputra Yudhishthir that faultless among men I shall obey your command, and what would I not do for Dhananjay's sake, Arjuna's sake? My life is merest trifle in my eyes. If you order me, I am ready to fight the gods themselves. But allow me to put before you what the wise Vasudeva and Arjun told me when they left. Until we return after slaying Jayadratha, you should not leave Yudhishthir's side. Okay, so already Vasudeva and Arjuna told Jayadratha told Satyaki not to leave Yudhishthir's sides until we return after slaying Jayadratha. Be vigilant in protecting him. Okay, we entrust this to you in confidence and go. There is only one warrior in the Kaurava army whom we fear, and he is Drona. You know his sworn intention. We go leaving Dharmputra's safety in our hands. Thus said Vasudeva and Arjuna to me when they went. Okay, so basically, he's trying, they Satyaki is trying to tell Yudhishthir that Krishna and Arjuna already told me that there is only Drona whom we are fearing because of his his sworn intention. We go living Dharmputra safety in our hands. So Aki is telling Yudhishthira that your safety is in my hand. Thus said Vasudeva and Arjun to me when they went. Arjuna laid this trust on me, believing me fit for it. How can I How can I disregard his command? Do not have any fear about Arjuna's safety. No one can defeat him. The Sindhu king and the others cannot cope with the 16th part of a Arjuna. Dharamputra, to whom I shall entrust your safety if I must go. So I see no one here who can stand against Drona if he come to seize you. Do not ask me to go. Consider well before you command me to leave. Satyaki replied Yudhishthir, I have thought over it, and as I weighed the danger against the need, and I have concluded that you must go. I have thought over it as I weighed the danger against the need, and I have concluded that you must go. You leave me with full permission. Here is the powerful Bhima to look to my safety. So basically, Yudhishthir is trying to convince Satyaki to go and look for Arjun in the battle, and do not be worried about my safety. Here is powerful Bhima to look to my safety. There is Drishtadyumna also. And there are many other besides. There is no need to worry about me. So saying, Yudhishthir placed a box full of arrows and other weapons in Satyaki's chariot and got fresh horses yoked thereto and sent Satyaki, uttering benediction on him. Bhimsena, Yudhishthir is your courage. Be vigilant, said Satyaki, and went to join Dhananjay. So basically, Satyaki also left. And he said to Bhimsena, Yudhishthir is your charge. Bhimsena, Yudhishthir is your charge. Be vigilant. Satyaki met with violent resistance as he proceeded to dash through the Kaurava forces, but he cut his way through, bearing down all opposition. But the resistance was very stiff and his progress was slow. So Satyaki cut his way through, bearing down all opposition, but the resistance was very stiff and his progress was slow. When Drona saw Satyaki part from Yudhishthir, he began to assault the Pandava formation without rest or interval, until it began to break and retreat. Yudhishthir was greatly agitated. When Drona saw Satyaki part from Yudhishthir, he began to assault the Pandava formation without rest or interval until it began to break and retreat. Yudhishthir was greatly agitated. Yudhishthir's fond hope. Arjun has not returned, nor has Satyaki, who was sent after him. Bhima, my fear grows. I hear the Panchjanya, but not the twang of Arjun's bowstring. Satyaki, the bravest and most loyal of friends, has not come back with any tidings. My anxiety is increasing every moment, said Yudhishthir to Bhima in great perplexity of mind. So in a great confusion, Yudhishthir is telling to Bhima that Arjun has not returned, nor has Satyaki. Satyaki, the bravest and most loyal of friend, has not come back with any tiding. My anxiety is increasing and my mind is greatly perplexed or confused. I have never seen you so agitated, replied Bhimsena. So Bhim is saying that I have never seen you so agitated. Do not let your fortitude grow less. Command me as you please. Do not let the wheel of your mind stick in the mud of anxiety. Do not let the wheels of your mind stick in the mud of anxiety. Dearest Bhima, I fear your brother has been slain. It seems to me Madhava has now himself taken up arms. I hear the conch of Madhava, but I hear not resounding twang of Gandiva. I fear Dhananjay, the unrivaled hero, in whom were centered all our hopes, has been killed. My mind is confused. If you would do so as I tell you, go at once where Arjun is. Join him and Satyaki and do what needs to be done and come back. Satyaki, under orders from me, pierced the Kaurava ranks and proceeded in the direction of Arjun. You go now and do likewise, and if you indeed see them alive, I shall know it by your lion roar. So now Yudhishthir is telling Bhima also to go to. I fear your brother has been slain, and it seems to me Dear Bhima, I fear your brother has been slain, and it seems to me Madhava has now himself taken up arms. I hear the conch of Madhavas, but I hear not resounding twangs of Gandiva. I fear Dhananjay, the unrivaled hero in whom were centered all our hopes, has been killed. My mind is confused. So he is very confused. Firstly, he sent Satyaki, and now he is telling Bhimsena also to go and help Arjun. And he said that, I fear that Madhava has now himself taken up the arms. You go now and likewise, and if you indeed see them alive, I shall know it by your lion roar. My lord, do not grieve. I shall go and let you know they are safe, said Bhima. So Bhima is telling that, my lord, do not grieve. I shall go and let you know they are safe. And immediately turning to Drishtadyumna said, Panchala, you know very well that Drona is seeking by some means or other to seize Dharmaputra alive. And immediately turning to Drishtadyumna said Panchala. Okay, so Bhim immediately turned to Drishtadyumna, said, Panchala, you know very well. You know very well that Drona is seeking by some means or other to seize Dharmaputra alive. Our foremost duty is to protect the king, but I must. Panchala, you know very well that Drona is seeking by some means or other to seize Dharmaputra alive. Our foremost duty is to protect the king, but I must also obey him and fulfill his command, and so I go trusting him to your care. So basically here Drona here Bhima is also going now on Yudhishthir's command, and he's he's trusting Drishtadyumna for taking care of Yudhishthir. Bhima, do not be concerned. Go with an assured mind. Drona cannot take Yudhishthir without first killing me, said the heroic son of Draupada, the sworn enemy of Drona, and Bhima hurried away. The Kauravas surrounded Bhima in full force and vowed to prevent him from going to Arjun's relief. But like a lion scattering less noble beast, he put his enemies to flight, killing no less than 11 of sons of Dhritarashtra. Bhima then approached Drona. Bhima then approached Drona himself. Stop, cried Drona. Here I am, your enemy. You cannot proceed further without defeating me. Your brother Arjun went in with my consent, but I cannot let you go. Drona spoke thus, believing that he would receive the same courtesy from Bhima as he did from Arjuna. But Bhima was furious at hearing these words of Drona and answered scornfully, O Brahmana, it was not with your permission that Arjuna went. He broke your resistance and pierced your battle lines, fighting his way through, but he did not hurt you out of pity. But I shall not, like Arjun, show mercy to you. I am your enemy. Once upon a time, you were our preceptor and were like a father to us. We respected you as much as such. Now you have yourself said you are our enemy. May it be so. Saying this, Bhima aimed his mace at Drona's chariot that crumbled to pieces, and Drona had to take another chariot. The second chariot too was broken to the pieces, and Bhima forced his way through, overcoming all opposition. Drona lost 8 chariots that day, and the army of the Bhojas tried to stop Bhima was completely destroyed. He proceeded mowing down all opposition and reached where Arjuna was fighting Jayadratha forces. As soon as he saw Arjuna, Bhima roared like a lion. Hearing that roar, Krishna and Arjun was exceedingly pleased and raised yells of joy. Yudhishthir heard these roar and relieved of his doubts and anxiety. Okay. He pronounced blessings on Arjuna and he thought within himself, before the sun sets today, Arjun's oath will be fulfilled. He will slay the man who caused the Abhimanyu's death and will return in triumph. Duryodhan may sue for peace after Jayadratha's death. Seeing so many of his brothers slain, it is possible that foolish Duryodhan may see light. The lives of numerous kings and great warriors have been sacrificed on the field of battle, and even the stubborn and narrow-visioned Duryodhan may now see his fault and ask for peace. The lives of numerous kings and great warriors have been sacrificed on the field of battle, and even the stubborn and narrow-visioned Duryodhan may now see his fault and ask for peace. Will this indeed happen? The great grandsire Bhishma has been offered as a sacrifice. Will this wicked enmity end with it? And shall we be saved from further cruel destruction? While thus Yudhishthira was fondly hoping and dreaming of peace, the battle was raging with great fury, where Bhima, Satyaki and Arjun were engaging the enemy. Only the Lord knows through what travail the world must evolve. His ways are instructable. Inscrutable. So he's saying that, now he's hoping for he's now again hoping for the peace to come from Duryodhan's side. That he's telling that the stubborn and narrow-visioned Duryodhan now may see his fault and ask for peace, because he has seen now his brothers dead. Grandsire Bhishma has been offered as a sacrifice. Will this wicked enmity end from further cruel destruction? So he was fondly hoping and dreaming of peace, Yudhishthir. But he says that only the Lord knows through what travail the world must evolve. His ways are inscrutable. So whatever happens in our life is to teach We should always take lessons from that. And I feel the behavior is also very important, how we behave when that situation arises. I know that our intentions, or at least my intentions, are never to hurt anyone, but reactions could be somehow hurting. For example, doubting other persons for their loyalty or suspecting them though they are not loyal, or some things can happen. But this is very important, that whatever is being placed in your life by Krishna, it's according to the will of Krishna. Do not think that you are controller. Only you can have control on yourself, in your behavior, in your actions, in your thoughts. Karna and Bhima. Arjuna had left Yudhishthir behind to repel Drona's attack and had gone to make good his words that before sunset Jayadratha would lie dead on the field of battle. Jayadratha had been the main cause of Abhimanyu's death. It was who had effectively prevented the relief of Abhimanyu by the Pandavas and thereby caused Abhimanyu to be isolated, overpowered, and slain. We have seen how Yudhishthir in his anxiety sent first Satyaki and then Bhima to join Arjun in this battle against Jayadratha. Bhima reached where Arjun was engaged and sounded his Simhananda. Bhima reached where Arjun was engaged and sounded his Simhanada. Dharamputra heard the lion roar of Bhima and knew that Arjun was found alive. It was the 14th day and the battle raged fiercely at many points between Satyaki and Bhurisravas at one place, between Bhima and Karna at another, between Arjun and Jayadratha at a third. So Satyaki and Bhurisravas, Bhima and Karna, and we know that Arjun has already slain Jayadratha by now. Drona remained at the main front, resisting the attack of Panchalas and the Pandavas and leading to counter-offensive against them. Duryodhana arrived with his forces at the sector where Arjun attacked Jayadratha but was soon defeated and turned back. The battle thus raged long and furiously on more than one front. The armies were so deployed that each side was exposed to danger in its rear. Duryodhana was speaking to Drona. Now Duryodhana again speaks to Drona. What is he saying? What is he saying? Let's see. Arjuna, Bhima and Satyaki have treated us with the contempt and proceeded successfully to Jayadratha sector. So he said, Arjun, Bhim, Satyaki, they have treated us with contempt and proceeded successfully to Jayadratha's sector, and they are pressing hard on Sindhu King. It is indeed strange that under your command our battle array should have been broken and our plans completely foiled. Everyone asks how it is that the great Drona, with all mastery of science of war, has been so badly outmaneuvered. What answer shall I make? I have been betrayed by you. So Duryodhana is feeling that he is being betrayed by Drona. Duryodhana thus once again bitterly reproached Drona, who replied unperturbed. Duryodhana, your accusations are as unworthy as they are contrary to truth. There's nothing to be gained by talking about what is past and beyond and repair. Think of what is to be done now. Sir, it is for you to advise me. Tell me what should be done. Give your best consideration to the difficulties of the situation and decide, and let us do it quickly. Puzzled and perplexed, thus Duryodhan pleaded. Drona replied, my son, the situation is no doubt serious. Three great generals have advanced, outmaneuvering us, but they have as much reason to be anxious as we. From the rear is now left as an open attack as ours. We are on both sides of them, and their position is not therefore safe. Therefore safe. Be heartened, go up to Jayadratha again, and do all you can to support him. If it is of no avail to dishearten oneself by dwelling on past defeats and difficulties. It is of no avail to dishearten oneself by dwelling, dwelling on past defeats and difficulties. It is best I stay here and send you reinforcements as when required. I must keep the Panchalas and Pandava army engaged here. Otherwise, we shall be wholly destroyed. Accordingly, Duryodhan went with fresh reinforcement again, where Arjun was directing his attack on Jayadratha. The narrative of the 14 days fighting at Kurukshetra shows that even in Mahabharata times, the modern tactics of turning and enveloping movement was not unknown. The advantage and risk of such strategy appear to have been fully understood and discussed even in those days. Arjuna's flanking maneuvers perplexed his enemies greatly. The story of that day's battle between Bhima and Karna reads very much like a chapter from the narrative of modern war. Bhima did not desire to fight Karna or remain long engaged with him. He was eager to reach where Arjuna was. But Radheya would by no means permit him to do so. He showered his arrow on Bhimsena and stopped him from proceeding. The contrast between the two warriors was striking. King Karna's handsome lotus-like face was radiant with smiles when he attacked Bhima, saying, Karna's handsome lotus-like face was radiant with smiles when he attacked Bhima, saying, do not show your back now, do not flee like a coward, and so on. Bhima was all anger when taunted in this manner. He was maddened by Karna's smile. The battle was fierce, but Karna did everything with a smiling air of ease, whereas Bhima's face glowed with rage and his movements were violent. Karna would keep at a distance and send his well-aimed shaft, but Bhima would disregard the arrows and javelin falling thick upon him and always try to close with Karna. Radheya did everything he did calmly and with graceful ease, whereas Bhima Sen fumed and fretted with impatience as he showed his amazing strength of limb. So, the two personalities, the contrasting personalities. Bhima was red with bleeding wounds all over and presented the appearance of an Ashoka tree in full blossom, but he minded them not as he attacked Karna, cutting bow in twain and smashing his chariot. When Karna had to run for a fresh chariot, there was no smile on his face, for anger rose in him like the sea on full moon day. Like the sea on the full moon day. As he attacked Bhima, both showed the strength of tigers and the speed of eagles, and their anger was now like that of serpents in fury. Bhima brought before his mind all the insults and injuries which he and his brothers and Draupadi had suffered, and fought desperately, caring not for life. Bhima brought before his mind all the insults and injuries which he had and his brother and Draupadi had suffered, and fought desperately, caring not for life. The two cars dashed against each other, and the milk white horses of Karna's chariot and Bhimsena black horses jostled in the combat like a cloud in thunderstorms. Jostled in the combat like a cloud in the clouds in a thunderstorm. Karna's bow was shattered and his charioteer reeled and fell. Karna then hurled a javelin at Bhima, but Bhima parried it and continued pouring his arrows on Karna, who had taken up a fresh bow. Again and again did Karna lose his chariot. Duryodhan saw Karna's plight and calling his brother Durjaya said, This wicked Pandava will kill Karna. Go and once and attack Bhima and save Karna's life. Durjaya went as ordered and attacked Bhima, who in rage sent 7 shafts which sent Durjaya's horses and his charioteer to the abode of Yama, and Durjaya himself fell mortally wounded. Seeing his bleeding body wriggling on the ground like a wounded snake, Karna was overwhelmed with grief and circled round the hero, paying mournful honor to the dead. Bhima did not stop but continued the fight and greatly harassed Karna. Karna once again had to find a fresh chariot. He sent well-aimed shaft and hit Bhima, who in fury hurled his mace at Karna, and it crashed on Karna's chariot and killed his charioteer and horses and broke the flagstaff. Karna now stood on the ground with a bent bow. Duryodhan now sent another brother to relieve Karna. Durmukha went accordingly and took Karna on his chariot. Seeing yet another son of Dhritarashtra came to offer himself up to death, Bhima licked his lips in gusto and sent 9 shafts on the newly arrived enemy. And even as Karna climbed up to take his seat in the chariot, Durmukha's armor was broken and he fell lifeless. When Karna saw the warrior bathed in blood lying dead by his side, he was again overwhelmed with grief and stood motionless for a while. Bhima relentlessly continued his attack on Karna. His sharp arrows pierced Karna's coat of armor and he was in pain, but he too at once returned the attack and wounded Bhima all over. Still the Pandavas would not stop and attacked Karna furiously. The sight of so many of Duryodhan's brothers dying for his sake, one after another, was too much for Karna. The sight of so many of Duryodhan's brother dying for his sake, one after another, was too much for Karna. This and the physical pain of his own wounds made him lose courage and he turned away defeated. But when Bhima stood upon the field of battle, red with wounded all over like a flaming fire, and emitted a triumphant yell, he could not brook it but returned to the combat. Okay, my dear friends, now we are stopping here. So we did until on day 16, we have finished until Karna and Bhima. Now on day next tomorrow, day 17, we are going to finish Pledge Respected, Somdatta's End, Jayadratha Slain, Drona passes away, like 4 chapters. 17, 18, 19, 20 and then 21. Yeah. So we have covered today until 86 chapters. We are going to start with chapter 87 tomorrow. Have a very nice day ahead, my dear friends, and I hope you are reading along with me this whole epic of wisdom, strength, courage, bravery. Thank you, my dear friends.